first saw you, I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. See the lights, see the party, the ball gowns. See you make your way through the crowd and say hello. Little did I know that you were Romeo, you were throwing pebbles, and my daddy said stay away from Juliet. And I was crying on the staircase, begging you please don't go. And I said, Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting, all there's left to do is run. You'll be the prince and I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. So I sneak out to the garden to see you. We keep quiet 'cause we're dead if they knew. So close your eyes, escape this town for a little while. 'Cause you were Romeo, I was a scarlet letter, and my daddy said stay away from Juliet. But you were everything to me, I was begging you please don't go. And I said, Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting, all there's left to do is run. You'll be the prince and I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. Romeo, save me, they're trying to tell me how to feel. This love is difficult, but it's real. Don't be afraid, we'll make it out of this mess. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. I got tired of waiting, wondering if you were ever coming around. My faith in you was fading when I met you on the outskirts of town. And I said, Romeo, save me, I've been feeling so alone. I keep waiting for you, but you never come. Is this in my head? I don't know what to think. He knelt to the ground and pulled out a ring and said, marry me, Juliet, you never have to be alone. I love you and that's all I really know. I talked to your dad, go pick out a white dress. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. We were both young when I first saw you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Sonder Social. I'm Malika. I will be leading you through this evening's social. So, thanks for being here. I know for all of us located in the US, today is the Super Bowl. So, thank you for taking time out to set up your weeks. We will kind of dive into this hour together. If you're new, make sure to shout yourselves out in the chat and say I'm new. For anyone who is returning, welcome back. For those who are new, welcome. This hour goes by quite fast, so make sure to pop open that chat. That's how we interact with each other throughout the social. Make sure to double check that that toggle is set to everyone, and anyone that basically ensures that everyone can see what you're writing in the chat, and grab those journals. I'm joined today by Katie, who is dialing in all the way from Europe. So she will be kind of manning the chat. So if you have any questions, she'll be able to kind of navigate those and guide you in the right direction. So thank you all so much for being here. We'll go ahead and get started. Why not? All right. Okay, so for folks that are new, I'm going to quickly run through the community guidelines. Make sure to be kind and courteous to yourself and others. No promotions or spam. Respect everyone's privacy. No hate speech or bullying. Any product and accessory questions or customer care inquiries can go to our team hello@silkensonder.com. And just remember that the Sonder socials are a way to get the most out of your journal and really kind of bring a lot of ideas to the forefront on how to best utilize these sections. Maybe you want to structure them a little bit differently or try a different method to organize kind of your week. So these weekly setup socials are really great for that. So thank you all for being here. We'll go ahead and get started. So we always like to talk about this month's theme. That's how we begin each of our socials. And for this month's theme, the theme is admiration. So I think it really pairs nicely with the month of February, where we kind of think about who we admire. I know when I was younger, it was always fun to get one of those secret admirers back in your Valentine's Day mailbox. But also thinking about admiration from not only like how you admire others, but also how do we express self admiration. I think that's something that I know I typically don't really reflect on very often. So I actually had a social earlier this week where we did a lot of self admiration, journaling activities. So that was always fun. But I really enjoy this month's theme just so that we can kind of take inventory of who we admire in our lives, what traits we admire about ourselves and others, and just really overall kind of having gratitude and really identifying what we love about one another. So, with that, we'll kind of run through the agenda today. So, we're going to start off with the admiration mind map. Then we'll move into our rosebud thorn and reflection of the past week, and then our weekly setup pages. Okay, so for the admiration mind map, so this is an activity we do for folks that are new to Silk and Sonder or Sonder socials. For each weekly setup social, we do a mind map on the month's theme. So this will typically be found, you can set it up in your Silk and Sonder journals on a blank page, or if you want to work on a scratch paper, that's fine. But essentially, what you do is we kind of explore different sectors of the theme. And we have like a focus area where we kind of have some time to think about how we admire through a specific lens. So I'll explain it a little bit more when you see the map. But essentially, we're on week 2. So if you did miss week 1, that's fine. You'll see it on the slide, and you can always kind of spend some time after the social if you want to fill that out from last week in case you missed it. But we're still kind of in the middle of February, so there's still some time. But with that, this week, we're going to focus on how we admire others. So think about kind of what qualities, what traits you really admire in your circle. Maybe you want to start off with kind of your close friends or the people that you kind of spend the most time with. What are some of those traits look like? What are the reasons why you choose to have them in your life? Maybe they are, you admire the way they serve just in the world or how mission driven they are, or maybe you admire how they show up for other people, or maybe you admire certain traits and qualities that really make you feel like they are a great person. So try to think about what those traits are, and maybe you can also write out who those people are too. So I'll give you all some time to fill out your admiration mind map where we focus on the admiration of others. All right. Thank you all for sharing kind of the traits and you admire. I think it's so fun to take inventory of all the folks we admire. I know I have a lot of really, really great people in my life. So there were a lot of names that came to my mind when doing this activity. So I there's a few people that I also want to call because I haven't talked to them in a while too. All right. So with that, we'll now move on to the next activity, which is our rosebud thorn. And for this week's rosebud thorn, it'll be on page 36 of your February journals. So I'll give you some time to flip to page 36. And I always like to share my rosebud thorn, but for folks who are new to rosebud thorn, it's essentially kind of identifying something that went well, a highlight or something that you're grateful for from the past week, a bud, a new and emerging opportunity, something new that's on the horizon that you're looking forward to, and then a thorn. A thorn is a challenge or something that you've been personally struggling with. So my rose is yesterday I deep cleaned my bedroom and I keep it clean, but like a deep clean is sometimes very much needed. And I took everything off and really scrubbed and like every nook and cranny. And I feel so much better, like just since I did that. Like it just feels so much better waking up, just going about my day. So that was really great. Sometimes I need to remember that maybe I should just keep a clean room and then I'll feel better. My bud is I have booked a body scrub and massage at the Korean spa on Valentine's Day. It was actually kind of the first available appointment, and I made it back in January, but it happens to be on Valentine's Day, which is great. I'm very excited about that. It's really a fun, it's not the most relaxing experience, but yes, Pearl Spa, Liz. So I'm going there, but I feel so much better after. They make you super smooth and soft, which is always always fun. And then thorn is dating in San Francisco is emotionally exhausting. And I hate when people will plan a date and then cancel, but it happens so often. Yeah, so that is my rose, my bud, and my thorn. So I will give you all some time to reflect on your highlight, an emerging opportunity, and a challenge. So I will give you all some time to fill out your rosebud thorn, and if you feel so inclined, make sure to share in the chat. All right. Thank you all for sharing in the chat your rose, your bud, and your thorn. It's always good to kind of take inventory of, what challenges we're facing, and also just remember kind of, okay, where do we feel like we need to give ourselves a little bit more kind of love and attention to navigate through those challenges. So as we set up our week, we can kind of identify how we should best serve, make sure that we're okay as we're going through those thorns, but also celebrating the roses and the buds that lie ahead. Okay, so we'll now turn to page 40 of your journals, and we always start off with the intention of how we want to feel. So we'll start off at that box at the top. So try to think of a word or a phrase, and set your intention of how you want to feel. Here are some examples for you, but it can really be anything. Maybe you want to feel admired this week, as we kind of go into Valentine's Day, or here are some words that you can use to help jog some ideas. So there's so many different ways that you can kind of set this up. You can also make it, you don't have to do just one word. You can always do a phrase or a quote, whatever it may be, to set that intention. Um, yeah, and then once you're ready, once that you have that word, write it in the chat. I would love to see. I see productive. I see I want to feel better. It says I want to I want to feel alive. There's so many different feelings. Lively. Okay, I love it. Let's see. Intentional and content. Organized, pain-free. Love it. Content. Full of love for others. I love that, Paula. Balanced, engaged, 5% happier, abundance, invigorated, motivated and productive, organized, creative, rested and peaceful, self-compassionate, happy. All right, these are really, really powerful intentions for the week. So the first step is done. You've written it down. You've set that intention. We'll now move on to the next section, which is the weekly major 3 goals. So that's the box right below. And for this section, you can identify 3 goals that you have for the week. So they can be tactical goals, or they can be, how you want to feel. Maybe they align with how you want to feel. You just kind of chose what intention you want to feel throughout the week. What are the 3 goals that are going to help support that? So you can do that, or it can just be any 3 goals that you want to accomplish this week. So maybe you feel like, oh, like I feel like my sleep has been impacted. I want to set a timer of when I want to go to bed to make sure that I'm having a more consistent sleep schedule. Like those are the types of goals that you can do. Or, maybe it could be something that you wanted to accomplish last week but didn't get a chance to. You can go ahead and copy that over. Really think it can really be anything. So think about what those goals are for you. I'll give you all some time to set up your major 3 goals, and then we'll move on to the to-do section next. All right. Thank you all for sharing some of the goals that you have this week. We will now move on to the next section, which is the weekly to-do section. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through a couple different ways to set this up. I always say you can just make this a bulleted list or a checkbox or however you'd like to kind of organize your typical to-do list. But here are some other formats you can adopt if you'd like to. So there's this concept called the Eisenhower matrix, where it helps us identify what is important and what is urgent. And it kind of gives us these four boxes: do, decide, delegate, and delete. And delete really means kind of what distractions are you going to remove? Delegate, what are some things that you can kind of offload to people in your life that can help? And then decisions, what decisions do you need to make? They're not necessarily time pressing, but there are things that you need to decide. And then there's your actual to-do list where things that have clear deadlines, you need to hit those deadlines. That's part of it. So that is definitely a way to structure it. Here are some examples of people that have used the Eisenhower matrix. And then here are a need, want, hope to-do list is another fun one. So maybe you can identify what you actually need to get done and what are things you want to get done. So those are kind of a fun way to set that up. Maybe you can also have like a wish or a hope to really kind of identify like what else you want to do. And maybe it could be like a little treat. So that's fun. And then also, you can make this into a bingo board. So, say you have a lot of to dos, but you want to make it more fun as you cross them off. You can always use a pen, a colorful pen, or you can even cross them out with stickers. So, there's definitely a fun way to set that up if you want to make it more of like a game. I like this concept. I love this example of a not to do list. Say you feel like you've been having kind of a rough week or coming out of a rough week. What are things that you do that you shouldn't be doing? And maybe it's that negative self-talk, or maybe it's going to bed super late, or maybe it's not going outside and going for a walk, or something, whatever it may be. You can kind of write those out as little reminders. And then I love this idea here where you can kind of categorize it based on whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your home, or whether it's for your work. So with that, I'll give you all some time to set up your to-do list, and then we'll regroup for the habit and activity section next. right. We'll now move on to the habit and activity section. So that's that last little box section on page 40. So here are some ways you can set this up. You can cross it off. You can also write in the bubbles. So if you feel like you want to track something that's kind of a measurement, you can definitely do that. Here's an example of somebody who did that. You can also use this section if you want to start incorporating maybe like a more structured morning routine or evening routine, and you can kind of use this as like your to-do for kind of your routine of how you unwind or how you start your day. That's a great idea. You can also use this for kind of any habits you want to track. So maybe you want to carry over those habits from your monthly tracker here, or if you want to focus on different habits this week, you can definitely kind of have that focused here as well. It doesn't have to be the same, it can definitely be different ones. So it's really up to you how you set this up. You can also set up goal. Maybe you want to not put the goal. Oftentimes I keep that goal blank and just do the very best I can. But it's really up to you how you want to set this up. And then also keep in mind that the goal is not always to have every bubble crossed off. It's really difficult, when we go through our days to days. There's a lot of things that come up, so it's completely understandable if you can't fill out every bubble. It's not about that. It's about doing the very best you can. So keep that in mind and make sure you give yourselves grace throughout the week. So I will give you all some time to set up your weekly habits, and then we'll move on to the meal plan section next. All right. Thank you all for setting up your habit trackers, and really just kind of identifying what those good habits you're going to track this week. So we will now move on to the next page. So just a precursor, these are the next few sections are heavily repurposed. So I'm going to walk you through a bunch of different ways you can set this up. You can, of course, use this as a meal plan or a food log. But you can also use this in a variety of different ways. So you can put your daily affirmations here. I know the app has those daily affirmations for you each day. So you can put that in there. You can also use this section to maybe reflect. Maybe you turn to your journal at night or in the daytime. You can kind of do like a little check in here each day. You can reflect on the 7 types of rest. You can maybe, if you have like a big chore and you want to split it up each section, you can kind of focus on one area so you get a little bit done each day and it doesn't feel as overwhelming. So that's one way you can do that. You can also set this up as almost like a wardrobe planner. You can set this up as an appointment tracker. You can use this as a packing list of things you want to, maybe you're going on a trip and you want to add kind of what you're going to pack for each day. And then you can also use this as kind of, if you need to take medicine, you can put that in there. Whatever serves you in your life and what you need, you can use this section for that. It's really a blank box. So I'll give you all some time to set up your meal plans and then we'll walk through the mind body health plan and the shopping list next. All right. We'll now move on to the Mind Body Health Plan and the shopping list. So, for the Mind Body Health Plan, I always think of this as your treat for each day of the week, something that you can look forward to. So, whether it be, making sure you have some alone time to read that book that you just started, or calling up an old friend or going to a workout class or walking around kind of in your favorite area in your town, whatever that looks like for you, kind of identifying what that self care activity is so that you have something to look forward to. So that's what I think of when I think of the mind body health plan. It doesn't always have to be centered around physical activity. Sometimes I previously used to put all my workout classes in here and kind of my exercise routine. But lately, I feel like I have a little bit more mixed. So, because lately I have not been working out every day, so it's a little bit different. But you can definitely set this up in the way that serves you. Here are some great examples on the screen if you want to adopt that format. I really like this one here where it's kind of alliteration and it's themed for each day. So that's always fun. And then the shopping list, of course, you can use this as kind of a bulleted list of things that you need, things you need to order online, whatever it may be. But you can also repurpose it. So I rarely go like shopping besides like groceries. So I don't really feel like I use this for a shopping list ever. But there's so many different ways I reuse it. I typically like to put an inspirational quote in here, or here you can see some people use this as a bingo board. You can use this for kind of additional focused intentions. I like this idea of kind of like a calm scale, so they want to track how calm they were. Or sometimes I use this as a place where I want to do a little bit of extra reflection. Sometimes I use like the journaling prompt generator in the app and then kind of just have some time to reflect there. So there's so many different ways you can use this section. Here are some examples for you, but I'll give you all some time to set up your mind body health plan and your shopping list, and then we'll regroup for the I'm loving section next. If I can find my mouse. There we go. All right, we'll now move on to that last section, which is the I am loving section. So for this one, I want you all to maybe roll your shoulders back, get comfortable wherever you are. Maybe close your eyes for a few seconds and really visualize and identify what you're truly loving in your life. I know we started off with the rosebud thorn. Maybe it's that rose, maybe it's something else. So try to think about kind of what you're loving. And when you're ready, open your eyes and maybe write that down and share with us kind of what you are currently loving. Rev is loving the sun for a few days in San Jose. Amazing. I know in San Francisco as well. It's been a sunny weekend after a very rainy week. So it's been, even though it's very cold up here, it's definitely nice to have the sun after a lot of rain. So think about kind of what you're loving, and think about kind of what that is. Do you have anything fun happen this weekend? What does that look like? I'm currently loving this new book that I started by Brianna West. It's a bunch of essays that she's written to change the way we think, and I'm really resonating with all of the essays I've read so far. She really breaks it down in a very concise way, and it's very fun to read. So I spent kind of all morning in my bed and at the coffee shop reading that book. So it was a really fun way to start my day. So I love it. My condo, it's my oasis. I love that, Alana. I think also your own space, is just so much. We take it for granted, but it is really nice to have that. So thank you all so much for sharing kind of what you're loving, and kind of how you, just everything that's been going on. I feel like it's always fun to take inventory of our rosebud thorn, to set up our weeks together. And I know I particularly love Sonder fam, especially. And I really am enjoying kind of I think I feel like I didn't have that many Sonder socials prior, but this first few weeks of February, I've been having a lot more and it's been really great. So I'm enjoying that as well. So thank you all for spending this hour with me. Make sure to share your planner pages with us. There's a section called inspiration. Make sure to snap those pictures and share with us in those categories. This was a really great hour. You've set up your week, hopefully eliminated any Sunday scaries. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Also, just another shout out, there is a life coaching product that Silk and Sonder offers if you're interested. There was a session this Thursday about it, but this is also, I think we can drop the recording for you, but basically, it's a great product if you want to supplement it with your journal. So definitely take a look at that. Katie already did drop those links for you, and has that kind of walkthrough for you as well. There is a VIP code, so make sure to check that out, and get a discount. And then also, she dropped that YouTube link that houses all of our past socials, in case you are curious about any that you've missed. So thank you all once again for spending this hour with us. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye, everybody.